this edition of True Crimes based on the plot of American Horror Story. I'm still working on crimes related to the Cecil Hotel. There's a lot of them. If you didn't watch the very first couple videos on the Cecil Hotel and the first 3 crimes that I covered like outside of the original video, which was Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia, the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez, and also Jack Unterweger, who was the Vienna Woods killer. I will link those above. So in this edition, this is actually going to be the final edition of not this series, but those related to the Cecil Hotel. So this is going to be the mysterious death of Elisa Lam. This video, there's so much surrounding this video. If you Google her name, so much comes up. There's so many videos that are made about this. There's documentaries made. There's a lot to cover, and I really tried to grab as much information as I could. Like, I grabbed information from documentaries, from videos, from newspaper articles. So this is definitely going to be a 2-parter, and there's just so many conspiracy theories. There's just so much mystery surrounding her death. So get some coffee, like get a snack. It's gonna be a long video, but it's gonna be like 2 videos. I'm gonna start the timeline at Elisa arriving in California. So Elisa Lam was 21 when she disappeared, and she was originally from Vancouver, British Columbia. She arrived in California January 26th of 1991, and the time frame is going to be very short between the time that she arrived in California and she was reported missing and then her body was found. Originally, she wasn't staying at the Cecil Hotel. She was staying in sort of like a hostel type room situation at another hotel, and then the report on this is really convoluted, that someone told her to go to the Cecil. I'm not really sure how that really happened, but she ended up at the Cecil and she was in a hostel room there. I'll link the video for the Cecil because originally it was 700 rooms. Now it's reported to have 600 rooms. So I guess some of them were converted or being used for other things. And so she was in a hostel-style room, but her roommates, because it's sort of like a dormitory situation, but her roommates were actually complaining of strange behavior that she had. And so she was moved to her own room. So when she came to California, she did travel alone to California. She traveled by Amtrak bus or train, and then also like intercity buses. She visited the San Diego Zoo. She posted pictures of all the places that she visited on her social media. And on January 26th, she arrived in Los Angeles. So 2 days after that is when she checked into the Cecil Hotel. And it's reported that the Cecil Hotel wasn't originally like on her list of places that she was going to be going. The room that she was in initially was on the 5th floor, but again, after her roommates complained that she was displaying odd behavior, she was removed to her own room 2 days after that. So while she was gone, she contacted her parents every single day. You know, she was traveling alone. She's only 21. She's essentially traveling in another country, and she was just like letting them know like what was going on, what she was doing, what she was seeing, all that sort of thing. So on January 31st, she was supposed to check out of the Cecil and she was supposed to move on to Santa Cruz. And her parents and family didn't hear from her that day, which was super unusual, and she never officially like checked out. They ended up calling the Los Angeles police, you know, saying that she was missing, and then they ended up flying to the US to Los Angeles to help search for her. Hotel staff did remember seeing her that day. They said that she was by herself. And outside of the hotel, Katie Orphan, who was the manager of like a nearby bookstore, was the only person that recalled seeing her that particular day outside of the hotel. And she said that she was like in a good mood, she was friendly, she was super outgoing, and she was like buying gifts to take home, like souvenirs for people. And she had mentioned that there was like books that she wanted to get to, but you know, she was traveling, especially if you're traveling by like train and bus and stuff like that, she didn't want to carry them around as she traveled. So they had that conversation. Police like searched the hotel extensively to try to find her. They ended up like searching her room. They brought in dogs. They checked up on the roof. But the canines never detected her scent. Like, the dogs never alerted as far as in anywhere in the hotel. Because at this point, like, she's a missing person, but she's not, you know, they didn't know that anything had happened to her. They could only search the rooms that people would let them search in, or, like, maybe if the dog alerted, they could go in. Like, they needed probable cause. So some of the searching was hindered. You know, it's like 600 rooms. There's other people there. There's a lot that they could have searched that, you know, legally you just can't, like, go in and search. And if you look up the Cecil Hotel, a lot of these, it's not like a hotel room that you're just renting for the day. Like, they can be rented by the week, and a lot of people actually, like, live at the Cecil Hotel. So then that's, I guess that's, like, then considered their residence. So you can't just, you know, roll up on somebody's house and just come in for no reason. Especially because at that point, she's a missing person. She's not, they don't know that anything's necessarily happened to her. Like, maybe she's just hurt, or she wandered off, or, you know, she's 21. There's a lot of explanations that could have made sense. On February 6th, it's a week after she's reported missing. They are doing these searches. They're not finding anything. They figure, like, we need more help. In order to bring, like, attention to it, there was flyers made with her face on it, put up in the neighborhood, and they also went to the media to, you know, say that she was missing and try to see if anybody had seen anything. I'm going to be looking down at my notes a lot just because these are very tight timeline and I want to get the dates right for you. So on February 14th, so this is another week. So they've searched, nothing. They've done flyers, media, nothing. On February 14th, the LAPD released a video, and this is a very famous video. It's a highly controversial video. There's a lot of speculation about the video. There's, you know, you can go on YouTube. There's different videos, podcasts, documentaries. There's a whole bunch of stuff about what we're actually seeing in the video. And so they released the video, and it's one of the inside of one of the hotel's elevators. And there's a surveillance camera in there. And so they pulled the video from the 1st of February because that's like when she went missing, and because of the behavior that she was displaying, like, it was only of her in the video, so because of the behavior that she was displaying in this video, like, this video went viral, and I mean, it's still, like I said, it's still highly evaluated, it's highly scrutinized. I'm not going to get into exactly what was going on in the video because like I said, there's videos out there that you can just find out everything that's in the video. You can look it up. It appears in the video that she's behaving strangely, and there is a lot of controversy about the doors, whether they were shutting or not shutting, or why they weren't shutting. And in general, this is the last known video of her before her body will be discovered, so before she was found dead. So I'll talk more about that later on. It took 3 weeks before her body was found, and her body was found. She was found naked in the water supply cistern, so like the water tank up on the roof, on February 19th. The reason the water tank was even searched was because residents were complaining that the water smelled funny, that it tasted funny, like there was something wrong. And, you know, so she had been floating in that cistern for 3 weeks, and her clothes were, like, found in the cistern, but, like, not on her. There were so many questions about how her body was found, why her body was found, the way it was found, like, how she got in there. And, you know, it also raised all these questions. There's all of this controversy about the Cecil Hotel in general. There's been 2 known serial killers that have stayed there. The Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short, her murder was reportedly connected to that. There's been countless numbers of suicides. People claim that it's haunted. Like, there's so much surrounding this place in general, and then to have this mysterious death, like, just took it to the next level. So with her body were her clothes and some of her personal effects. I believe like her cell phone was never recovered, so that was also interesting. Especially because they said like she climbed in there, so if she climbed in there and all of her clothes and personal effects were in there but her cell phone wasn't, like I don't really get that. But it took the coroner's office 4 months to come back with a report after tons and tons of delays. They said that there was no evidence of physical trauma and that they ruled the death accidental. Once the Cecil Hotel, which has actually now been renamed and rebranded the Stay on Main, once this all happened, some of the residents actually sued the Cecil Hotel, and then her parents actually sued the Cecil Hotel as well, but that particular lawsuit was dismissed. So when you dive into like some of the conspiracy theories, there is a theory out there that her death is similar to a movie plot from 2005. It was a movie called Dark Water. I never saw it. I don't even think I looked it up or anything. But they're saying there's similarities between the two, and the case has since become an international story interest. I don't know how you would even say that. So the details of how she got into that cistern is still a mystery. It was ruled accidental, and she was diagnosed with bipolar, and I'm actually going to talk specifically about the mental health part of this case. One of the things that I wanted to do with these cases is really bring to light, my background is in behavioral health, so I really want to bring in to light like some of the mental health issues and how that can play a role. Even though you put all that on the table, there's still so many lingering questions surrounding her death, and especially because there was no signs of trauma notated. On February 21st, the coroner's office issued their official findings that it was an accidental drowning and that bipolar was cited as a significant factor in the drowning. The full report was released later that year in June, and it said that the clothes that were found in the cistern were similar to the ones that were in the video of her, and that her body was covered in a sand-like particulate, and her watch and her room key were found with her, but like not her phone or anything else. Obviously, 3 weeks in the water, her body was moderately decomposed. It was bloated, mostly like a greenish in color. There was no sign of physical trauma. There was no sign of sexual assault. And in the report, they actually said that there was no sign of suicide. So they're basically saying like she accidentally drowned getting in there into a cistern. So the toxicology reports were like one of those things that people really wanted to see, because they wanted to know, like, had she been drugged? Had she taken drugs? Like, did she have some kind of psychotic break because of a drug overdose, and that's why she even got in there? Like, that was something that people were really waiting on. And they said because she didn't have like enough blood in her at the time when they found her, that they couldn't really complete those tests. They said they could find like traces of prescription drugs and a non-prescription drug like a Sudafed and ibuprofen. There was a very small amount of alcohol that was found, but no other like recreational drugs, and nothing that would seem significant enough to contribute.